Hello, CC2 learners. This is your last lesson that we are doing for Chapter 8, and then Monday's Memorial Day, so you do not have work due that day. Wednesday is going to be the quiz on Chapter 8, and then Friday is going to be your course evaluation day. So let's get to it. So we're looking at classifying angles, and again, a lot of you may have had different teachings about angles in elementary school, so this book is assuming that you may not have learned all of that. You're doing 866 through 871. And anytime, I'm just going to say this up front, anytime it asks you to use a protractor, you do not have one, or you may not have one, so just estimate on those ones. So it says in geometry, an angle, vocab word, is formed by two rays with a common endpoint. A ray is a line that has an endpoint and extends infinitely in a particular direction. Okay, so this is one ray, goes on infinitely. This is another ray, goes on infinitely. The point where two rays intersect is called the vertex of the angle. Here's your vertex. One of the most common angles is a right angle. A right angle measures 90 degrees. If an angle measures less than 90 degrees, it's called an acute angle. If an angle measures more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees, it's called an obtuse angle. So it shows you an example of how to use a protractor here. And so the vertex lines up with the middle of the protractor, and then one of the rays has to line up with the bottom of the protractor. It could be on this side or this side. And if you look at the numbers, it starts at 10 and goes all the way up to 180 when you come down to this line. And then notice here, it counts up from 10 all the way on the outside. So if you're measuring starting with this bottom, you would go up with the 10s in this direction, okay? And I believe in the math boxes, there was some math box, I can't remember where it was, that talked about how to use a protractor, but anyway, sorry about that. Okay, so then it says use a protractor to find the measure of each angle and then classify it. Well, we don't have a protractor. If you do at home, you can definitely use it, but if not, then you just estimate. And remember that 90 degrees, right? That's straight up and down, that's the L shape. So we know that one's gonna be less than 90. This one is bigger than the L shape, so we know that one's gonna be more than 90, and this one looks like exactly the L shape. And then it says a straight line is also called a straight angle. Draw a straight angle on your paper. What is the measure? So if you look, right after 170, you go to 10 degrees down more, that's 180 degrees, the straight angle. It says the diagrams below show some students' use of protractors. Explain what each student needs to do to find the correct angle measure. So remember, the stoplight means that it's a common error that people make. Okay, so this one, the center, the vertex is not right at the center of the protractor. So they need to move their angle, or the protractor, so that the vertex lines up with the middle. This one, the vertex is lined up with the middle, but none of the rays start right at the bottom at 0. So they would need to adjust the protractor so that it would line up with one of the rays. This one, they have the vertex in the middle, and it looks like the ray is lined up with the straight edge, but actually this is a whole 10 degrees. So it would need to be moved so that this angle goes down here, or the vertex, at this bottom part of the protractor, because right now you're measuring 10 degrees less because of this gap right here. Okay, and then this one, it has the vertex in the middle, the line is lined up with the bottom of the protractor, and then the arrow points up and it says measure of angle is 60 degrees. Well, we know this is greater than 60 degrees because it's bigger than the L shape, right? So then you look at the other number that's available, it's 120 degrees. So just write little sentences for these ones. All right, 68, complementary angles with the E, 2 E's, complement. So it's different than like if I give you a compliment, like, oh, your hair looks nice today. That's a different word. This is complement with 2 E's. The compliment where you say something nice about somebody has an I. So complementary angles are 2 angles with a sum of 90 degrees. Supplementary angles are 2 angles with a sum of 180 degrees. Again, you don't have a protractor, but it says use your protractor to measure each of the angles below and determine which angles are complementary and which angles are supplementary. So you have to think, which 2 would make 90 degrees? Well, this one's already greater than 90 degrees, so it makes the most sense that this one would not be part of the complementary, and that B and C would be complementary because they're both less than 90 degrees. And even if we don't have a protractor, we can estimate that those two together would make 90 degrees. Now, combining A with either B or C, I'll let you just take a guess, and I'm not going to mark it wrong, but what do you think would make 180 degrees or a flat line if you combine A with B or A with C? Then it says, come up with a strategy with your team. You don't have a team, so do it by yourself, for remembering the definitions of complementary and supplementary. Okay. Then we have adjacent angles. There's a lot of vocab in this lesson. Angles that share the same vertex on one side are referred to as adjacent angles. Adjacent in the English language means next to. For two angles to be adjacent, they must satisfy the following three conditions. Two angles must have a common side, shared or same. They must have a common vertex, a common starting point. They can have no interior points in common, so no overlapping. The common side must be between the two angles. It says copy each of the figures below, determine which pairs of angles are adjacent and which are not by checking to see if the angle pair satisfies the three conditions. Right, yes or no? You don't have to draw these if you don't want to. I'm not going to require that of you. There's no way that you would get them all 100% accurate, so you just write yes or no. Okay, if you write no, give a short explanation. So if I see no, but no explanation, then I'm not gonna be happy with your response. You gotta explain why. So I'll do 3 together with you, and then the rest I want you to try on your own. So here, for A, the two angles are 1 and 2. They share a vertex here. They have a common side right here. A is yes. B, here's your vertex. Here's another vertex. So they share this vertex and they share this common side. So there's 2 angles there. So that one would be yes. Here, angle 1, the vertex is here. Side is here, side is here. Angle 2, the vertex is here. And they share this side. However, they can have no overlap. So C is no because there's overlap. Okay. If you need help with the other ones, let me know. But I want you to try the rest on your own. So you can pause the video right now, finish the rest, and then you can come back to 70. Okay, then we have vertical angles. Angles formed by 2 intersecting lines that are not adjacent are called vertical angles. In the diagram at the right, angles 1 and 2 are vertical angles. What can you say about 3 and 4? So 3 and 4, they are not adjacent. They have a vertex, but they don't have a similar side. So 3 and 4 also are vertical angles. Use your protractor to measure each of the 4. What do you notice? Well, you don't have a protractor. So what do you notice about any angles? Is there any ones that look the same or different? Then it says draw a pair of vertical angles on your paper. Each team member should draw angles with different measures. You're the only one drawing it, so maybe draw 2 different ones, but it's only asking you to draw 1. What do you think is true about the measures of vertical angles? And then here you're finding the measure of the missing angle. Okay, so if angle 1 is 75 degrees and the whole straight line makes 180 degrees, you have to subtract 180 minus 75. Part B, the relationship, it's asking you about vertical angles. If you look at 1 and 2, they look equal measure, and 3 and 4 look equal measure. So that's the relationship, is that vertical angles are the same measure. So if angle 1 is 55 and 2 is a vertical angle with angle 1, then they'd be the same measurement. Angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary. Remember that complementary is 90 degrees. So yeah, there's the L shape. I was like, wait, does that work? Okay, so then you take 90 degrees minus 27, and that would get you your measurement. Angle 1 and 2 are supplementary, which makes 180 degrees. So if 30 degrees is the angle 1, then you have to figure out what plus 30 gets you to 180. And that was the last problem for today, for distance learning, for the spring. Let me know if you have any questions, and quiz will be Wednesday.